Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and I'm doing some actual spot removal on this carpet. And this is an interesting situation because this is a carpet that I cleaned. There's two buildings in this complex and they're identical. The other one is right over there. And I cleaned this 2 years ago. And over the last couple of years, I've kind of wondered, okay, well, I haven't been back here. Well, what's going on? Did they, why didn't they get me back last year? Well, it turns out the reason they didn't is because they didn't need to. The carpet has stayed clean. In fact, the manager, when I was talking to him, I asked him about that. He says, oh yeah, stays clean much better than when he'd been getting it steam cleaned before. So that's why I haven't been back. But today, there are a few areas where there's some spills and stains that have occurred. So I'm here just to do some touching up. And next spring, they plan to do both buildings again. And they'll be getting us back in again because he's very happy with the way the carpet cleaned and has remained clean. And that was an interesting thing to, the feedback to get from the customer. The manager, but is another testimony of how well the SETT method not only works as far as the initial clean, because it looked better, as he said, it looked better when it was done, it stayed clean. And that, of course, is a very important aspect. Now, the other thing is that this was a job where because they were two identical buildings, I thought, okay, this is perfect. I scheduled one for one day. I scheduled the other one for the next day, and I thought, that, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean one building with the Vibe. It's okay, you can step there.
No, I know that. I was just trying to go around it.
Oh, I'm just about to clean.
Okay, you've spotted them. I knew that. I could tell by what they looked like the first time I went by.
Yeah, they're pre-treated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for my maintenance man.
Anyway, interesting lady.
No, he was not there. I've left him a note and a message. I know he's in the property somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I need a walkie-talkie, I think.
Interesting lady. So where was I? Okay. So I cleaned. Yes, I cleaned one building. In fact, this was the building I cleaned with the Vibe, and then I thought, okay, I timed it, and exactly how long it took me, and then I went and did the other building, which was identical and in about the same condition. I'm not sure how old the carpet is. I think it's actually close to 10 years old, come to think of it. But it's in good shape overall, really. I mean, it wasn't, terribly bad looking at all. It needs to clean. You can see it's kind of grungy looking in here again. But, and I timed the cleaning with the Vibe on the one building, and then the next day I did the other building, used my Hawk 2-speed machine, and turned out that the Hawk 2-speed machine, 300 RPM, did clean the carpet a little bit faster. Not a lot faster, maybe 45 minutes or an hour less time, which for a building which is like 3 floors or so, wasn't a huge difference, but it was enough to make me go, okay, I see the potential here. And that was before I had these machines, the Centaurs, which are actually even going to clean a little bit faster yet because I can put a larger pad driver on there, or it comes with a larger pad driver anyway. And then the other thing I did is when I cleaned this building with the Vibe, I used
What shoes?
Yes, for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what pads I used. I can't remember which pads I used actually. But anyway, and then when I cleaned with the rotary, it was the first time I ever cleaned using the AstroTurf green stripe pads, because I wanted to determine how well they would clean, and whether or not they were a viable option. And then when I was finished, I couldn't tell the difference between how the carpets looked that I cleaned with the Vibe compared to the carpets I cleaned with the rotary using the AstroTurf pads. And that was where I went, the light bulb went off in my head, and I went, okay, two things. We're going to be using the rotary a lot more, the 2-speed is going to be my machine of choice for commercial, because I can see that it will be faster. There's no difference in the way the carpet cleans, visibly anyway. It stays clean as long, and this is proof coming back 2 years later. And the green stripe AstroTurf pads are a great choice. So, and that was what I learned, rather than simply sort of go by theory or whatever. I actually experimented and compared, and this was the conclusions that I reached. So there you go, for what it's worth. And here we go. Now, one of the reasons I prefer the rotary is because, as you can see, I'm moving forward, always moving forward. And when I use the Vibe or any other OP machine, wheels down, of course, you got to do the walking forward, turn around, coming back, like you're using a lawnmower, basically. And that's fine if that's... It's not, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that at all. I'm just pointing out that that is the difference as far as the way that you're moving the machine on the floor. And in the hallway, as you can see, I can simply move back and forth very easily. There's no effort, and what I'm saying is this is a more efficient way to go. And you know, there's lots of guys that will insist that the OP machines will clean better, and way back when I bought my first OP machines many years ago now, I assumed that was going to be the case, but I have never found that to be the case, actually. In fact, I'm convinced, and I've shown in many videos, I'm convinced that the rotary actually will, when used correctly with the right attachments, the right technique, will clean better. But that's been my experience, and that's what I've been consistently saying on my in my videos, and I back it up with what I show. So it's not enough to simply say it but not prove it, as many will do. But I will say it, and then I'll back it up with the videos that I show, where you can see the rotary is just doing an exceptional job. Particularly the 300 RPM, and this is where it absolutely shines on the commercial carpet, because that pad is moving very rapidly on the carpet. That's 360-degree cleaning passes per second. That's an awful lot of cleaning. And the other advantage is rotaries are typically going to be costing you less money to purchase. That's a factor. Oh, the other thing is, I should almost forgot to mention, is the fact that the rotary, especially when you're shower feeding, which I do, as you can see, you will use far less solution. And the dry time then, of course, is going to be at least a little bit faster. And using less solution means there's less of an expense as far as that aspect of your operating costs go. Although that's a very small amount, I get that. That's not a make or break point or whatever. But, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is just doing a fantastic job. Now, I did spray these stains with some Suspend with stabilized ClO2 in. I have no idea what the stains are, but as you can see, this carpet is cleaning fantastic, which is normally what you see. The mailbox is right here, so typically there's going to be a little bit more wear right in front of them, obviously, when people stop and get their mail. So I'm going a little bit more slowly here. Now, under ideal conditions, you can certainly clean more than 4,000 square feet an hour. And I don't think there's any other machine that can match that, actually. But that's with the 300 RPM machine. I'm not going to be cleaning at that rate of speed here, but that is... I've shown videos where I have done that, just to prove that it can be done. But a rotary is not a machine that you want to hand a novice to and expect you're not going to get the performance. And that's one of the things I think that happens is people who don't really have the experience and understand how to use it correctly, they use it and they go, oh, this doesn't work very well. But the issue is not the machine, it's the lack of experience. Once you really learn how to use the rotary, which does take a little bit of time, once you get the hang of it, you won't go back. Okay, I'm going to go right over here again a little bit because there was a few stains right here. I'm just getting an extra pass here. So this carpet is brightening up. Beautiful. This is an elephant, of course. Now we'll head down this way. So I've got a couple of spots in this building to do, a couple of areas, and then in the other building I've got, I think, at least one area or two areas to do. Not a very big job here today. Yep. Just so simple to use, and look at the results we're getting here. Got another stain right up ahead of me here to deal with. I think one of the reasons that I have concluded this pad works so well is the AstroTurf is really scrubbing the yarn very effectively. And even though the polyester fiber of the white part is actually polyester, it's not as absorbent as the cotton. I don't think it's as critical as we think it is, because I think that once the AstroTurf scrubbing lifts that soil, it'll transfer onto the polyester without much effort at all. And advantage of the absorbency of the cotton kind of is negated, I guess you could say, because the cotton, like an Iron Man, not that they're a great pad, definitely, but they don't have the scrubbing ability like the AstroTurf does. Obviously, less aggressive scrubbing, more absorbency, but less aggressive scrubbing. But I do use them. They're a very good pad, and I definitely think they should be part of the arsenal, as it were. But so should these AstroTurf pads. It's just really obviously very good how well they work, and the thing is that they last longer. They're expensive, especially in Canada, where I am. They can be $70, $80, but you can use both sides, of course, and they will outlast the cotton ones. But in the big picture, that's a very small aspect of your operating cost, because they do last a very long time. But you got to make sure that you get the right ones, because there's a type that have a polypropylene loop where the green stripe is. It's not actually AstroTurf. They're not as effective as the actual AstroTurf ones, so you got to make sure which ones you're actually getting. But look at that. Carpet is looking fantastic. Okay, we'll go over here. Okay, we're going to let you go in a sec. And we'll take a look and see how the pad looks. Go ahead. By the way, I almost forgot to mention, I have my neutral pH Von Schroeder product in the tank. So that's actually pretty soiled for not a very large area. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.